Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Western Centurion channel. Today is Saturday the 13th of May and another update. Unfortunately it's nothing to do with laying track or baseboards this time, because there's something I've been meaning to get done in the garage and which was pretty much very important to do. And what that was, I expect this wire dangling down here might give you a little bit of a clue, because it's actually to do with the electrics down here in the garage. Now, what I've been wanting to do is to actually have an independent power supply down here to the garage, so that it has its own breaker or RCD breaker in the consumer unit from the house. Now, the power supply we had down here originally was just it was proper armoured cabling, but it was just a spur off the ring main from the house, and that was pretty much just to do a couple of lights down here in the garage and one socket. Now obviously everything what I've done down here is going to be using a lot more power than one socket and two lights. So I thought it was very important to get a new power supply put down here. And Wednesday just gone, that is what happened. So I now have a completely new and totally independent supply down to the garage with its own circuit breaker in the consumer unit in the house, and it's rated up to 32 amps, which will be absolutely perfect for down here, and it means that I can actually put some permanent heating into the garage to make sure at least we keep it at a reasonable temperature in the winter. This bit of video up here will show you what's been put in and how far that cabling had to go. I think in total it's just over 80 feet. And as you see, it starts off from the house where it comes out the wall from the consumer unit, along the wall, and then we've had to dig a little trench on the other side of the gate, and behind the flower bed, down a bit more, and then we get to the little wood pile or shed for the wood that I made, because obviously I had to get all the wood out from here at one time. Earlier videos I expect you saw I had all our firewood was in the garage at that time, so I built that little shed for it to keep it dry. And then we come all the way down the wall. That is quite a bit of cabling, I'll tell you, and it is quite thick. And then we get down to the garage, and as you can see, up it comes, top of the wall and into the wall, which is over there. And then when we come into the garage, you can see where it comes along the joist and down into the consumer unit. And that was the other thing I had done. The consumer unit in the garage used to be here on that wall, and now I had it moved over there, so at least I can access it. Because if I kept it there, and you'd think I had 3 foot wide top layer baseboards here, there'd be no way I could get to it without damaging anything on the layout. So it's over there on the wall, and you'll get to see it after this. I'll just quickly take you around so you can see what's happened and how it's been done. So yeah, that was a very important addition I needed to get done to the garage, was an independent power supply. But it did mean having to take a section of the ceiling out in that corner near the door. Oh boy, that wasn't easy. It was a real nightmare, and I think it's going to be even more of a nightmare to try and get that piece of wood back up again. But that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. But there was another little problem that I've had in the garage, and that is where I've done the insulation so well, and the fact that the flat roof of the garage, it's bitumen on top with some just stones glued in or stuck in with the bitumen. Now, as we all know, bitumen is black, so when the sun comes out, that really does heat up. That roof gets quite hot. And what's been happening is where it's got hot, and because I've done the insulation so well, the airflow is getting trapped. It can go along the ceiling and it can come down the wall, but then the problem is it's got nowhere to go, so it will build up. And in a certain area, if you see this picture here in the ceiling, you can see where it sweated and started to actually come through the ceiling and the joins along here, and drip down onto the floor. Now that is in the area where Wooden Basset Station is going to be, and the baseboard is going to be 3 feet. That drip will just catch the edge of the baseboard. So another thing I'm going to have to do to the garage is improve that ventilation. So what I plan on doing is taking out maybe 4 bricks on the outside of the garage and replacing them with an air brick, similar, probably something like this up in here. And once I've got those in place, I will use an adjustable cover to go on the outside, so that in the winter I can shut it off if need be to keep the warmth in. So any sun in the summer is a bonus, because it will warm up and it keeps it warm in here. This picture will show you, this is what the garage is like on the outside, and pretty much shows you where I plan on putting the bricks. It's just roughly, I'll have to have a really good look when I do it. But yeah, I'll put these 4 air bricks in, and that should give me the ventilation that I need to stop the roof from sweating. And that's pretty much basic, just to get this garage back up to the standard that I want and to keep. And then that will roll on to my next update video, which will be about the baseboards and the fiddle yard, and what I plan to use, or the material that I'll use for the baseboards. Now, I have read all your comments on my last video, and thank you very much. They've been really, really helpful. And I'm pretty certain now I've made my mind up what I'm going to do with the baseboards and what material I'll use. But I'll explain that in my next video or the next update. Okay. So what I'll do now, I'll get the camera off the tripod, and I'll just take you around the section where I'm putting the power in, because I've got to get that finished today, because it's had a slight little issue when putting in the consumer unit, but I'll explain that to you in a minute. Okay, so stick with me and see you again in a minute. Bye bye. And there is the section of ceiling that I had to take out, and that hole you can see, that is where the LED downlight fits. But I wish I'd got this blinking power put in, or separate power put in before I did the ceiling and everything, but hey, we all learn, don't we? So I'll bring you around here. That's where it came out from. And there's the consumer unit in its new position. And this is what I've got to do. We've got that's the ring main, or part of the ring main for the sockets. That wire behind this one is the other feed for the ring main, and that's for the lights. And obviously the big black cable there, that is the mains in. Now, the problem is, when the electrician moved the consumer unit, he yanked or tugged on the main ring for the sockets to try and pull it over to here. But what he ended up doing was, I'll show you this. I had a rose up in there which had that wire connected to, and the other ring, part of the ring came round and into here as well, and then I just had a little dropper feed from this down into the consumer unit. So of course when he pulled that, pulled the wires out, so I no longer have a complete ring main for the socket. So that's what I've got to do today. I had to cut that hole out to be able to get to the cable, and what I'll do, I'll connect that with another length of wire, feed it all the way back through this ceiling here, and then reconnect it down into the consumer unit. Because what I've found out is that this one there, that is pretty much just a wire. It goes around the back of that beam or that joist, and then comes down to this socket, and then from there it continues down to which you can't see from here, but I've got a double socket down at the bottom there as well. So obviously it's a bit pointless because all the power goes all the way around here to all the sockets in the garage, all the way around to there, along the top, around there. I've got some sockets as well down underneath in the cupboard down there, and we've got the double socket up there, and that's it. That's where it ends. So that's what I've got to do. I've got to get it from there to here and into that consumer unit, and that's my little job for today. And then hopefully I can get everything cleaned up. I can get the piece of wood back up into there again, and if I get that done today, then hopefully I can do another update video tomorrow, Sunday, about the baseboards, once I've got the garage tidied up. Because if you have a look, it's a bit of a mess at the moment, and I don't like mess. Alright, so that's it everybody. Hopefully I will get that update done tomorrow, and you all have a fabulous weekend. Catch you again soon. Bye.